Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook are continuing their war of words. Durant is on the cover of Rolling Stone and talked about leaving OKC because the Thunder weren't trying to win now. He also admitted he didn't hang out with Westbrook on road trips. Westbrook is on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and it was revealed that his 4th of July Instagram post of cupcakes was a shot at Durant because Thunder players would call each other Cupcake if they were acting soft. Shannon, how has all this changed your view of Durant?
And Russell Westbrook, I think, is also on November's edition of GQ. So he's up 2-1 on KD.
On covers.
Just throw that. KD, look, I know this Rolling Stone interview was done probably 2 months ago, and it's just not coming out, and we've talked about it a little bit, Skip, on this show here. But he looks real petty. If you are a free agent, your contract is up. If you choose to go somewhere else, why you did it, when you did it, where you came to this conclusion that this was the best move for you is unimportant. You are a free agent. You're entitled to go shop your services, and if you want to leave, you can leave. If you want to stay, you can stay. You don't have to offer explanations. You know, he's saying, well, they weren't trying to win now. Bruh, you in Oklahoma City. As great as LeBron James is, he can't attract guys to Cleveland. He got Kevin Durant through a trade. They had to trade the 2 #1 overall draft picks and 2 first-rounders to get Kevin Love to come. You're not going to get no big-time free agent to go to Oklahoma City. They're not coming to, if they won't come to Cleveland to play with LeBron James, you actually think they're going to come to Oklahoma City to play with you in Westbrook? Stop. Be real. And if they were to get someone, who are they going to trade to get someone that you would like to have to play with? You got 2 big chips. You had Kevin Durant, you had Westbrook. I think Steven Adams was untouchable. So you got your choice. You want Ibaka? So what are you going to give up? Who can you get that Kevin Durant would have been happy with to come play with him and Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City, Skip? I don't know. And we thought for the longest time that the good guy was Kevin Durant. The villain was Russell Westbrook. We had it in reverse, Skip. All along. You don't have to be friends. You can be teammates, do your thing, you go your way, I go my way. That's fine. But you know when you say something, how it's going to be construed. Sports, teams, players are like a relationship. You can be in a relationship. Now, and if we decide to go our separate ways, Skip, maybe it's not as fresh as it once was. Maybe I don't take you to the movies, or we don't go and do things. We don't go on vacation. Maybe the newness of it has worn off. But once one of the parties decide to leave, we don't need to discuss why you left. We don't need to discuss when you came to this decision. You're happy. You decided to move on. Okay, live with that decision. But I just don't understand why he continuously talk about it like, well, this is why I did it. Who cares? It was your decision to make. Teams trade players all the time. And the reason they give, we're trying to make ourselves better. Okay, Kevin Durant, you went to a team that you felt gave you a better chance to win. Now, his rationale is, this is what I don't understand, Skip. He was up 3-1, they lost. Golden State was up 3-1, they lost. He said, had they won, I wouldn't have gone there. Why? What difference does it make? You went to a stacked team, whether they won or lost. They're still the prohibited favorites to win the title. They were going to be the favorite again, with or without Kevin Durant. But he seems real petty because he's still throwing shots, you know. Look, we could have all assumed they got along great or they were just teammates. You don't have to come out and say that y'all guys didn't hang out together. There are a lot of guys that play together that don't hang out together. I mean, John Elway and I didn't hang out together. We were teammates. We call each other, we talk now. But that's okay. I think Kevin Durant thinks that in order for you to be successful, you got to be buddy-buddy. Yeah. You got to be down. I disagree with that, and he just seems real petty. I thought he was good because after LeBron made his decision, he re-signed in the dead of night. Nobody knew anything. And next thing you know, Kevin Durant re-signs with OKC. And you're like, you know what? KD gets it. Man, KD a good dude. Oklahoma City, small. And I just, what he's done since he's signed with Golden State has really changed the way I view and the way I look at Kevin Durant.
Before I agree with you and then some about everything you just said, before I go in on Kevin Durant, allow me to say, having grown up in Oklahoma City, that it is astonishing to me that Oklahoma City even has an NBA team. Because when I was growing up, it's like minor league hockey and University of Oklahoma football, and that's about all there is.
Yep.
And yet, you just told me that in a short time span here, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook are on covers of GQ, Rolling Stone, and Sports. Are you kidding? Sports Illustrated also?
Right.
So that's out of Oklahoma City. So the star power of those two in that small market that you could make a case doesn't even deserve to have a pro sports team of any kind, but they support it like crazy.
They do.
That they've come up with two stars, or they had two stars, whose relationship or lack thereof has vaulted them onto these covers. That's what's happened here, right?
Yes.
Okay, now back to Kevin Durant. I wish that Kevin Durant would just be honest and say what I have been saying for the last 6 years on television. He never loved playing with Russell Westbrook, and I never blamed him for that. And if he would just be honest about that, I would have no issue whatsoever. I would like for him at some point to let it go, but don't start pointing fingers about the management. You didn't get us. No, that's not what he thought. Trust me.
Skip, he's saying it, but he's beating around the bush.
He's beating around the bush because he had one big beef with management, and it was a legitimate gripe.
Yes.
Management, starting with the GM, Sam Presti, treated Russell Westbrook far better than it treated Kevin Durant. Russell Westbrook was coddled. Russell Westbrook was treated as the star of stars, the alpha dog in that locker room, as the man in the franchise in Oklahoma City. It was Russell Westbrook. He could do no wrong. He was virtually uncoachable because he was headstrong, and Sam Presti loved him to a fault because he was Sam Presti's greatest draft pick. Kevin was a second pick in the draft, but it was kind of a no-brainer. It was kind of obvious because the talent was so obvious. Russell Westbrook was not an obvious fourth pick in the draft. A lot of people were shocked, starting with this guy right here, that they took him that high. Because at UCLA, he stayed for 2 years. He wasn't just a one and done. He was 2 years, and in his second year, he averaged, Russell Westbrook at UCLA, 13 points and 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Not the kind of numbers that would make you say, Ma, he's destined for the Hall of Fame, right?
Yep.
And he's about, 6'3" maybe, and he was a little skinny when he first came in, even though he had the shoulders going, but he was almost cast as a defensive stopper, which he's not now at all, but that was his reputation coming out of UCLA. And Sam Presti, who's got some genius about him, said, nope, diamond in the rough. And once Russell started to show that fire and desire and that rage to win and get out of my way, give me the basketball, I'm the man on the floor. Once he started to display that on a nightly basis, Sam Presti was wide-eyed about it, and it drove Kevin Durant nuts. Trust me on this, I know. And Kevin Durant never said a word about it because he liked Russell off the floor. They got along just fine. He just didn't like playing with him and living with him within the confines of the franchise because Kevin thought, gee, I'm chopped liver here. Kevin broke through and won the MVP one year, and he still felt like Russell was treated like the man. Russell's hard to coach now. He's not going to listen to much of anything. Russell is headstrong. He's tunnel visioned. He's give me the ball and get out of my way, especially in fourth quarters. His usage rate is often the highest in the league. He's always in the top 3 or 4. So the ball's going to be in his hands. And Kevin finally decided after last year's playoffs, even though they're up 3-1 on Golden State, he finally decided that I can't win a ring or even be happy playing with a primary ball handler and decision maker who is Russell Westbrook, because it's just no fun for him because their star power's pretty equal, right?
Absolutely.
And there were too many times he thought that Russell had such a green light that obviously he gets to choose when to drive, when to pull up and shoot, or when to pass. And that too often he chose to do the first two before he lobbed it over to Kevin on the wing, and that it just was no fun for him. So if you want to say all this publicly, I'm totally good with it if you want to just unleash one time, unburden yourself, and be honest about it. Don't say, Sam Presti didn't get us enough help. Baloney. That has nothing to do with this. But I think we'd all respect if he unloaded once and then said, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But we get dribs and drabs, pot shot, between the lines, sort of cryptic quotes. I don't know. And what Russell did was kind of funny cryptic, but with the cupcakes, that was a nice between the line shot, but he's done with it. He's not going to talk about it.
But just knowing the guys, you could see they're totally two different personalities. I can see them totally not hanging out because they're so different. See, Kevin Durant, you go to two doors. Kevin Durant will ask, can I come in? Russell Westbrook is going to kick the door down and walk in.
He will.
They're totally different person. I've never met either one of them. But just watching them on television, Russell Westbrook plays with a football mentality.
He does.
I'm going where I want to go, when I want to go, and if it's up to you to stop me.
Correct.
Kevin Durant will say, look, okay, guys, I'll defer. Russell's not taking a back seat. Now, is Kevin trying to throw Sam Presti under the bus for not giving James Harden the extra $3-4 million a year? I mean, but now you got three ball dominant guys.
And by the way, that was an ownership decision, not a Presti decision. They just didn't want to spend the money. Okay, which is pretty crazy, but go ahead.
And so and Kevin Durant's looking like, well, hold on. Look what they got in Golden State. Now, if we'd kept Harden, we could have been Golden State before Golden State. Maybe he's thinking, but Skip, in relationships, things happen. People break up, people get divorced. Once you make that step, once you say, I'm out, you're out. And someone asks you, hey, guys, I had a great time. I enjoyed my time there. I'm on a new journey. This is a new beginning. My job is to try to help the Warriors do what they didn't do last year, is to win a title. I'm not talking about selfishness and selfishness. It just, I'm looking, and maybe it's me. And this, I was a prisoner of what I ask fans not to do. Stop judging someone by what they do on the court or how you perceive them to be, because you never know how they actually are behind closed doors. Now, we still would have had no idea what Kevin Durant was really like behind closed doors until he started doing these interviews. Now it gives you a glimpse into how he thinks and what he thought all along. It's starting for me to believe now. He was, even if Golden State had won, he was out. He was going somewhere else.
I totally agree. So my bottom line is, I believe Kevin Durant is more talented than Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I also know that Kevin is more of a follower than a leader. He's not made of the same stuff Russell is made of, because Russell is made of some potent stuff, man. It's explosive. And you want that guy in charge, but not to a fault. You don't want him running the show where he's so self-consumed that it's me or nothing. See basket, attack basket. Sometimes he has to see the rest. He needs a little bit of help, and he needed Kevin's help. But Kevin is what he is and wasn't. He's not that guy. And the man in Oklahoma City, the truth was, it was Russell, and Kevin just couldn't live with that, and that's okay. So now Kevin just said, you know what? I'd rather be a cog in a better system, Golden State system. I'll figure out how to blend in, and maybe I'll win my first ring in my 10th year. That's what he wants to do.
But he will, even if he were to win a ring, he will never be thought of because he went.
I agree.
It's still going to be Steph Curry's team. No matter what happens, he can win 3 or 4, but he's never going to get the credit he deserves because this was already made before you got there. This dish, all it was ready to be was served. You did nothing. You didn't cook anything. You didn't buy any ingredients. All you did was come to the table and ready to feast. That's all you basically is
So you've lost respect for Kevin Durant. I think a lot of people have. And to me, he's just the same guy he always was. He did exactly what I thought he would do.
You know what he brought? Golden State is a meal. Only thing Kevin Durant brought to the table was his appetite. He didn't bring no utensils. He didn't bring no tablecloth. He didn't bring nothing. He didn't bring no plates, no forks. All he brought was his appetite. It's already there, Skip. It's already made. They won 67 games without Kevin Durant. They won 73 games without Kevin Durant. They were going to be the favorite with or without Kevin Durant.
Right.
You wanted to leave, have at it. But once you leave, talking about your past, your former team or teammates, that should not even part your mouth.